Jabihari Ayarada Madhava Kunjabihari Jayarada Madhava Kunjabihari Jayarada Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayara. It doesn't work. Mama Kunjabihari Jayarada Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Satara Sada Shri Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Ekadasi Vrata Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. Yeah, okay. The verse is 1, 2, 22. Yeah, I thought of that already. I brought a new battery, and it didn't work. It's dead. 1222 Vrindavan. Yep. I'm going to put it on here now.
The personality of Godhead. Do render. Atma, self. Prasadani, that which enlightens. Translation. Therefore, all transcendentalists have been rendering loving service with great delight to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, from time immemorial, because such devotional service is enlightening the self.
अतो वै कवयो नित्यं कवयो नित्यं भक्तिं परमया मुदा वासुदेवी भगवती कुर्वन्ति आत्म प्रसादने भक्तिं आत्म प्रसादने devotional service is Atma means self or mind also, even body. Atma means the body, this mind and the self also. So Atma Prasadane means if you want to satisfy your mind, if you want to satisfy yourself, or even you want to satisfy your body, we are living in three stages: bodily concept of life, mental concept of life, and spiritual concept of life. Those who are grossly in ignorance, they are thinking in terms of bodily concept of life. Those who are little more advanced, they are thinking in terms of mental or psychological concept of life. And those who are still more advanced, they are thinking in terms of spiritual concept of life. The spiritual concept of life, as it is described before, vadanti tat tattavidas tatyam. Tatyam means truth. The truth is spirit, not this matter. Matter is truth, subordinate to spirit. On the basis of spirit, the matter grows. Just like our body has grown on the basis of our spiritual existence. So, spiritual realization is the ultimate goal of our life. Jivasya tattva jigyasa neha jasya karma bhi. We have discussed these verses previously. This human form of life, jivasya tattva jigyasa. Jigyasa about the truth, inquiry about the truth, that is the main business of the living entity. But lower than human being, animals, birds, beasts, trees, aquatics, insects, they have no privilege to inquire about the absolute truth. It is in the human form of life one can inquire about the absolute truth, अर्थात ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा. So, when one is actually inquisitive about the absolute truth, he realizes three transcendental subjects. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti. So ultimately, one has to reach to the platform of Bhagavan. Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudullo. To the point of understanding Vasudeva, he is the perfect Mahatma. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. According to Vedic description, Mahatma means one who has reached to the point of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who has reached, all of them are transcendentalists, Kovida, men of knowledge, but one who has reached to the point of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is called Mahatma. Mahatma is a very common word in India. Any saintly person is called a Mahatma. But according to Vedic description, a Mahatma is he who has reached to the point of understanding Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of God. In another place it is stated, Mahat Seva Daram Ahut Vimukte Stamadhyaram Jositang Sangisangam. There are two ways. Our life, they are going in two ways. One way is liberation and the other way is bondage. Just like you have seen the reel. The reel is rolling. One way it is rolling to roll the thread, and another it is giving way to the thread. Similarly, we can lead in two ways our life, either towards liberation or towards darkness of bondage. This is our human life. By gradual evolutionary process, we come to the human form of life. Now we can move it two ways, either towards liberation or towards bondage. We do not know modern education. There is no such information what is called bondage and what is called liberation. Andha jatha andhairupaniyaman nati vidushartha gatingi Vishnu. We do not know. There is no such education that students may understand what is Vishnu, what is God, what he is, what is his relationship with God, Vishnu. These things are unknown to the modern educationist. The Shastra therefore says, Andha jatha andhairupaniyaman Stepi satantra urudamni vadhya. Urudamni vadhya. Uru, very, damni means rope. Just like if your hands and legs are tied very strongly, it is very difficult for you to move. Similarly, by the laws of nature, every living entity is bound up very strongly. Ishatantra, by the laws of the Supreme Lord. We are bound up. We cannot deviate. We cannot violate the laws of nature. Everyone can experience a little violation, little deviation from the laws of nature. We accept some suffering. That suppose we are eating, but if we eat little more, then we can digest. The laws of nature is that you can eat as much as you can digest. But if you eat more, then it is the laws of nature. You cannot violate. Naividyesha gunamayi mama maya durattaya. Nobody can violate nature. So, we have discussed how to get out of the laws of nature. Mukta sangasya jayate. Mukta sangha means one who has become freed from the three modes of material nature. After being freed from the laws of material nature, or by the three modes, then can talk of Vasudeva Bhakti. But one can become free from this bondage of material nature simply by devotional service to Vasudeva. That is being stressed in this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janati Asu Vairagyam Jnanancha Jad Ahitapam. If we simply learn how to render devotional service to Vasudeva, Krishna consciousness, Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, this is actually translated into English as Krishna consciousness. Everything for Krishna. So, that Krishna consciousness, if we take to Krishna consciousness, then Janati Asu Vairagyam. Asu, very soon, one becomes detached from this material bondage. Janati Asu Vairagyam Jnanancha. And jnana, knowledge, real knowledge. And the material knowledge, that is the cause of bondage. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Anitya samsara moho janmaya, jara vidya sa mayar vaibhav. Material knowledge, advancement of material knowledge means more and more bondage. And advancement of spiritual knowledge means more and more liberation. But our problem is how to liberate ourselves from this material bondage. We are bound up, just like I am spirit soul, you are spirit soul, but we are put into this. Because we are in material bondage, therefore we have no freedom. People do not understand this. Just like a spirit soul is described as sarvago. Sarvago means the spirit soul can go anywhere he likes. But due to this material bondage, because we have this material body, we are checked. Even we cannot go to the other planet. But we have got instances, just like Narad Muni. Narad Muni is traveling all over the universes, not only within the material world, but in the spiritual world. Because he has got spiritual body. There is no material bonding. These are very subtle matter, but one can realize if he meditates upon it. The yogis, they can, because they become, by yogic process, they become a little free from this material body. Therefore, they can transfer from one place to another very quickly. Even those yogis who are on this material platform, on this planet, they travel very quickly. There are many yogis still in India who take bath in 4 places daily early in the morning. They take bath in Jagannath Puri, in Rameswaram, in Haridwar. In this way, 4 places they take bath. There are some books about the yogis. These things are written there. And actually, we met some yogis and they said how quickly they can go from one place to another. That we can understand from our experience, just like the mind. Mind is so swift that in a second the mind can reach thousands of miles away. The spirit soul is still more subtle, and the speed of spirit soul is very, very great. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Tatta deham punarjanma naiti mameti kaunteya. Tatta deham. Just after giving up this body, he immediately comes to me in the spiritual world. These are the basic statements you can try to understand. Takta deham punarjanma naiti. We accept immediately after death. It is said, just like go forward, when the first step you find it is secure, you take up the second step. Similarly, as soon as the next body is arranged by superior arrangement, we give up this body and enter into another gross body. Immediately. Immediately transferred to a mother's home for manufacturing another gross body. This is the law. So here Krishna says, Takta deham punarjanma naiti. If the living entity does not enter into another gross body, then where does he go? So Krishna says, Mameti, he comes to me. Now just imagine what is the speed of spirit soul. Just after leaving this body, after death, immediately goes to Goloka Vrindavan, or at least where Krishna is there. Mameti. Krishna's Nitya Leela, that has been described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Krishna's Nitya Leela is going on. Krishna is present in a Bhoma Leela, in one of the universes. Every time the Lord Chaitanya has given this example as the movement of the sun. The sun is moving and the 24 hours into 60 minutes, into 60 seconds. All these time changes are there every time. Just like our sunrise was, say, at 6:30 or 6. This 6:30 passed here, but somewhere else it is now 6:30. Again, when it will pass 6:30 there, in somewhere else there will be 6:30. Similarly, Krishna is passing from one universe to another. And when he is visible in this universe, we find Krishna's appearance. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami has informed us that those who are competent, those who have become competent to associate with Krishna, as Krishna says, Takta dehang punarjanmanaiti mameti. This mameti, that spirit soul goes to Krishna, first of all, within some universe, where Krishna is having his pastime, Homa Lila. He goes there. Then, just like when a person is trained up as an apprentice, then he is given the post. Just like a magistrate after passing the examination, ICS examination, he is trained up under some magistrate and then he is given the post. Similarly, a living entity when is actually eligible by Krishna consciousness, by development of Krishna consciousness, then immediately after giving up this body, he is transferred to that universe where Krishna is there, Bhoma Lila. And after he is being trained up thoroughly, then he is transferred to the original Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. These boys may be given some prasada. These boys who have come. Come here, boys. Ask them. Come here. And then one in hand, why? Give them one in hand. So, my point is, how swift is the spirit soul? That either he goes to one of the universes. One of the universes means there are millions and trillions of universes that we do not know. We have information of this universe materially, but from Vedic literature we get information there are millions and trillions of universes like this. We can see only one universe. We get this information from Brahma Samhita, Jasa Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanna Koti. This very word is used. Jagadanna means one universe. And Koti, Koti means millions. So there are unlimited number of universes also. And in each universe, Kotishu Vasudhadi Vibhuti Vinnam. In each universe there are millions and trillions of planets, each different from one another. This is the creation. So just imagine, what is God's creation, how He attains every universe continually. His Leela is going on. As soon as in one universe the Krishna's birth appearance is finished, immediately in another universe his birth takes place. This is called Nitya Leela. Exactly like the same example. As soon as 6:30 morning finished here in India, immediately the 6:30 of the sunrise in some other place, 6:30 another place, and the 6:30 is going on. It is very easy to understand. The 6:30 or 7:30 or 8, 9, whatever you take, that is going on. That is called Nitya Leela. Krishna's Leela is going. So just imagine how many universes are there. So, the spirit, soul, has got immense power. Immense power. That is only fragment of Krishna. Part and parcel. Now, just you can imagine what is the power of Krishna. Is a small fragmental portion of Krishna, Mamaivangsa Jiva Bhuta, the living entity, he has got so much potencies. And what potency Krishna has got, who is full spiritual potency. So, actually, if we want to be happy as part and parcel of Krishna, we must join him. That is our value. This example I have given several times, that a small screw of a machine has got immense value when it is attached with the machine. The same small screw, when it is detached from the machine, it has no value. Not even a farthing. Similarly, we are part and parcel of Krishna, Vasudeva. Our value is in full when we join Krishna. When we dovetail our activities in Krishna consciousness, then it is valuable. Otherwise, the so-called progress is simply illusion. There is no progress. It is simply illusion. Therefore, if we actually want happiness, pleasure, then we must dovetail our activities, devotional service with Krishna, Vasudeva. Vasudeva Bhagavati Kurvanti Atma Prasada. It is for your interest. It is not for Krishna's interest. Krishna can create millions of living entities like you. He doesn't require your service. He is complete. But if you want your satisfaction, then Vasudeva Bhagavati, Bhaktin Kurvanti Ahoitu. Then you have to dovetail yourself in devotional service to Krishna. That is intelligence. Otherwise, foolish ignorance, illusion. Thank you very much.
It's like a screw that has no, if we're not connected with Krishna, we're just like a screw that's aimlessly wasted. But when we're connected with Krishna, and we must dovetail our interest in serving Krishna. Then we have a purpose, then we have some mission in life.
Prabhupada gave us a binary choice here. And that choice is either move towards bondage or move towards liberation. So if we if we act in a way in which we continually forget Krishna, then the only result we can get is bondage, which means we have to stay. Bondage means staying here in the material world. And subjecting ourselves to birth after birth, and only the human form of life do we have a chance to get out. So you got all these different forms of life, 8,400,000, and in only the human form of life can we get out of this material world. So by serving Krishna and becoming a devotee, then the path of liberation is open. And Prabhupada makes this very clear that we have a choice. We can choose either light or dark. And that is done every day when we choose to act in Krishna consciousness or choose not to. So Prabhupada is emphasizing that very strongly. Another thing is that these classes were given during Kartik in 1972 at the Radha Damodar Temple. And therefore, this is Vrindavan before, I mean, this over 50 years ago. This is Vrindavan before they put the pavement everywhere. This is Vrindavan when there was a lot less devotees there, a lot less people. So it was very, very natural. You could hear all the parrots and the birds so loud. This is a very natural environment, very, very spiritually surcharged. It's still spiritually surcharged, but there's a lot more people. It's not quite the same. Okay, anybody else? Here's some more notes for it. There are many, many trees. Yeah. Now it's all, apartment buildings and things. Actually, you can still see that in certain places in Vrindavan. There'll be, where the trees are, like there'll be parrots will come there at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun's going down. And then there are sadhus feeding those parrots. And there's many hundred, maybe thousands in one or two trees. Because that's their natural habitat. Unfortunately, it's been paved over. Too much success, and it's been paved over. Even back then, of course, the Parikrama path was all fine sand, and now it's mostly just road. You have somebody else? Boma Lila. Boma Lila is when Krishna appears here in the material world. So that's called, there's two types of, Krishna is always in Vrindavan here on earth, but sometimes he's prakat, means he's visible, and sometimes he's aprakat, he's not visible. So he's prakat, visible in one of the material universes at all times. Prabhupada uses the example of the sunrise. The sunrise is at a certain time, and then the sun's up, but then, 1,000 miles away, the sun will be coming up shortly. And so there's always a sunrise happening somewhere on this planet. Right now, it's sunrise somewhere. And so that means, and sunset somewhere. So Krishna appears or disappears from the material world all the time. So Boma Lila is the opportunity that we get as conditioned living entities to perfect ourselves in Krishna consciousness. The idea being is that if we become Krishna conscious in this life, we don't really directly go back to Godhead. What we do is we go to join Krishna in one of his pastimes in a material universe somewhere, Boma Lila. And there, at that point, we perfect ourselves, and we enter into the spiritual Vrindavan. I mean, it's spiritual when it's here too. So that's the idea when you hear about the gopis going to Krishna, that some gopis were stopped from going to Krishna by their relatives. And they literally left their material bodies because they couldn't go. But they were the gopis, they were the living entities who were just joining for the first time. So we'll get that opportunity if we perfect ourselves in this life to join Krishna in his Leela, but first in Boma Leela, which means Vrindavan in the material world, which is still the spiritual world because Krishna is there. So that's like that's the finishing school where we become completely trained up in our position, whatever that is, gopi or cowherd boy or whatever. And if you want to join Lord Chaitanya, you can join in. You can go to Navadvip, Boma, which also appears every. It's rare because Krishna appears at a scheduled time, but Lord Chaitanya, in his most merciful form, only appears at some of the times Krishna appears. That's how fortunate we are to be here on this planet now, is that Krishna appeared, and then Lord Chaitanya, in his most merciful feature, as Mahaprabhu distributing the Maha Mantra, appears. So 5,000 some years ago, Krishna appears. 500 some years ago, Lord Chaitanya appears, and now we're here. So Prabhupada said it's practically like we're here at the same time, because out of eternity, what's a few hundred years? So we are super, super blessed.
Adi Purusham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Aravindanalaya Taksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Vipan Vikayanti Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Govindam Namahum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Mutanlaya Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gurmani Pacha Nirvisesha Shunyavani Vashachari Satarane Jayas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Narvadrinda Gadadhar Sivasari Narvadrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaurabhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaurabhaktavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaurabhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana, Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana, Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana, Radha Goloka Nana, Radha. Radha Goloka Nana, Radha Goloka Nana, Radha. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe Jaya Radhe. Radhe, Radhe Jaya Radhe, Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramadikacharya. Also
Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Pranamrita Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bhavadani Sarva Shakti Tat Ravikani Amita Smaranena Kala
So fresh.
Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hanjani Manuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadaram Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabata Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrishim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashudaraya Varanam Gadgada Hridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahena Me Ashlishyava Padamratam Panastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatata Vindato Lampato Mat Prananatas Tusta Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon in the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women.